All right, friends, are you ready to see the results of the voting that you guys did the past few weeks? I am so excited to show you the chaotic and the crazy results of my event. Hello friends, happy Wednesday. No top 5 Wednesday video today because I really wanted to share and cover the results of my reading review Shoujo Spree. This is an annual event that I've been doing the past few years where I share the recommendations that you guys gave me in December, I believe, during my 25 days of Shoujo manga, and then you guys vote for those same recommendations, and this time I had 2 rounds rather than 3, and then the top 3 most voted series by the end of the round 2, are the series I will be reading. And I had said before, when I kicked off the event, I said the voting will be chaotic. What I thought I was going to be reading, well, we're going to talk about it. But first, because I always forget to do this, so I do have my 3 guesses. I did not share them in that video. I did write them down, but I was sort of afraid that people were like a Patreon or channel member, that they would thought that I put in my vote after they did theirs. And I do have a screenshot I'll put here when I originally did my first 3 guesses, which is the same I have on this sheet of paper. Not necessarily in any certain order, but I said the eccentric doctor of the Moonflower Kingdom, Colette Decides to Die, and Dinkin Daisy. I won't say how right I was, but if you did see my post, my community post on Sunday, then you do know that one of these guesses was correct. So are you guys ready to go into all of the results? I'll do my best to try and give you guys the down low. I tried taking a lot of notes last night so I could talk about everything, but here, as you can see, there were 36 different series that you could vote for. I did have more recommendations than this, but I tried to stick to series that either I knew I could read it on Manga, that I already owned, or that my library had. So this is everything we had. This year was a little bit different because I did include josei titles this year. The previous years I have not done that. I strictly stuck with shoujo manga. But before I show you the results of round 1 and we talk about it, I did want to mention, I should say, because I didn't make a chart for this, but based off the Patreon channel members, their early votes, Dinkin Daisy had 4, and then the Ayakashi Hunters Tainted Bride had 3. Everything else either was tied for 2 or tied for 1 or didn't get any votes. I was very surprised to see the Hunters Tainted Bride, like very shocked. I do know several friends who absolutely love this series though, so maybe I shouldn't have been too surprised. I also forgot to mention we had 86 votes this first round. I was very excited. Are you guys ready to see the results? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show a graph. It's going to show you the number of votes for that manga, and after we go through the graph chart, then I will show all the images and what is going to be going into round 2, because as you can see here, it's a little bit overwhelming when you see all the numbers, though you can see right off the bat, we had a very clear first place winner, and that was Colette Decides to Die. It was very interesting to me because for the first 2-3 days, we had Colette that was in the top 3 and pretty much was first place, I think, the entire time, to be honest. Like, there wasn't a time where anybody dethroned Colette at any given point in round 1, but for 2nd and 3rd place, it was Princess Jellyfish and Red River. Now, you can see these votes here. You can see Dinkin Daisy actually came in 2nd place, and then Red River and Princess Jellyfish tied for 3rd. And I think that mainly happened because either, I know there was a leak about the Dinkin Daisy anime adaptation, and we did talk about the official announcement, by the way, for that. And I think it was somewhere around there, because you can also see that you knew when that anime news came out, because Dinkin Daisy was not it wasn't even the top 5 most voted series for a long time until that anime announcement dropped, and then it was like boom, it just exploded, took off, and all the things. I was very happy to see though, for this first round, there was not a single series that did not get a vote. I do feel in previous years there was always like one series that maybe got 1 to 2 votes. I don't think we never had one that didn't have any. I was also very impressed that Oron, that it was in the top 5. I mean, it was consistently up there through the entire duration of this. I guess you could say the same for Natsume's Book of Friends, Kageki Kageki Shoujo. Also Pink and Habanero, which really surprised me. I was like, there are some big fans of this series. Eccentric Doctor coming in with 32 votes. I was very happy. I'm still very surprised about Princess Jellyfish. I'm not gonna lie. We'll talk more about that in a second. And same as Life Lessons with Uramichi Onisan. I was also very surprised to see that, but I do know somebody who commented on one of my posts on Twitter saying they were very excited to see it, and they feel like it's something different compared to everything that is shown here. I think there was one series. It did not get as many high votes here, but The Marriage of the Unseen Duke, I was shocked that it got 20 votes. I need to look into this digital manga because usually in the past, and even you could sort of see here, digital manga doesn't tend to do very well. People naturally gravitate towards the physical volumes that they can have on hand. That's always just sort of, I think, been true, not just for my event, but just in general. So I was extremely surprised to see how well it did. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna lock in on this. I need to know. And if you want to see more of how does everything look in consideration of what is going to round 2, then here is the next graphic showing. If you see it blurred out, unfortunately it did not make it. I am very surprised that Princess Knight did not make it further. Same as the Villainous manga. Now I don't know if it's just because I feel like in my Villainous event last year, All Routes Lead to Doom, I feel like that manga did pretty good. It still did not win the top 3 most voted series though from that event. And I thought I would do a little bit higher here, but I'm just guessing because there was so much else. Same as Gene Bride. I have heard so many glowing things about this manga that I really thought it would be in the top 5 most voted for series. So I was very surprised it did not make it past round 1. I should say, as I did say in the kickoff video, that all of these series I should, unless something changes at my library, I should be able to put in a hold and be able to check them out for future reference. Please don't get too disappointed if a manga you voted for did not make it to the second round. I'm still hoping to. I can't promise I'll read all of these, but I'm still hoping to check out a lot of them. To be determined when it comes to that. I'm very happy though with everything that is moving on. Very surprised to see Children of the Whales on here. I do feel like it is very different. Same as Life Lessons. Both of those manga aren't typically series, not in a bad way, but I feel like they're not ones I gravitate toward because I love my shoujo romance. So it was very surprising. I was very happy to see though Rosa Versailles was on here. And it was interesting because last year I was pulling the graphics from last year's event and I was like, wow, I didn't realize that Pink and Habanero, Rosa Versailles, Oron, Natsumi, those were series that have been in last year's event and made a comeback, which is fine because I always say like, hey, if a series that you voted for didn't make it past round 1, you can always, recommend it again. And here is the chart showing, hey, with the votes of what series is moving forward. The light pink one is the titles, unfortunately, that did not make it. I guess it was, yeah, My Next Life as a Villainess. That was very close. Very close. Same as Gene Bride. So it wasn't like they didn't get super low votes. They just didn't happen to make it into the top 18. I forgot to mention that the top 18 most voted series would make it into round 2. And let's see the graphic for that. So it's a little bit easier. This is everything that's going into this final round. And it was, y'all, it was truly a chaotic round. And honestly, I feel like I need to apologize because I'm not going to show the results yet because then obviously then you'll see what 3 series I'll be reading. Also forgot to say, this also had 86 votes for this round, which was really awesome. Originally when the poll began and the form opened, Eccentric Doctor was in first place at the time, but then Colette came in and Colette took over and it did very well. It did very well. And the thing was, Zank and Daisy had a pretty strong second lead. It was sort of competing with Kageki Shoujo there for quite a bit. It pulled ahead. And then I shared a tweet. And I shared on Instagram, I shared on Tumblr. I cannot recall if I shared on YouTube, like on the community posts. I said, hey, there's a 3-way tie between Merit and the Egyptian God, Kageki Shoujo, and Pink and Habanero. After I shared that, the results that had been pretty much the same for the first few days went into complete chaos mode, dethroned what was in second place. For a while there, thought I might have to close the poll early because we had a tie on and off for quite a bit. And so I just feel bad because maybe the results would have been different if I had not said, hey, fans of these 3 series, if you want to push it ahead, keep what was in third place, you should vote, because they voted. I'm going to share the results here, that these are the final results of round 2, which again was my final round. As you can see, once again, Colette just took it away, stayed in first place. Again, there was no dethroning Colette this time around. There, for a good while, Dinkin Daisy was in second place. And then I did my tweet. Merit in the Egyptian God came right up. And then in third place, Kageki Shoujo came in and dethroned by 1 vote Dinkin Daisy. Now, I again just want to apologize to any fans who were so excited for Dinkin Daisy. Same, I should say, when I shared on Twitter on Tuesday, and I said, well, last Tuesday, and I said thank you to everybody who voted, and I shared a photo of Dinkin Daisy, and I had 2 very dear friends who were like, oh, did it win? And I'm like, I was just sharing because I had the photo on hand from when I had shared on Instagram a few months ago, and I was like, Lord, this was false, misleading information, so I do apologize to both of them and anybody else who got very excited because, again, as you can see, the final 3 series I will be reading is Colette Decides to Die, Merit in the Egyptian God, and Kageki Shoujo. I am very excited. I have been meaning to catch up on Colette Decides to Die, and if you follow my channel for a while, you might be like, well, Laura, didn't you do a first impression video on this? And I did. I think after it released, and then I fell off and I haven't been caught up. I just bought a few volumes that my library didn't have last night, and I already had to buy Merit in the Egyptian God because I did not realize that when I put it on my list that the library did not in fact have this title at all. And the Kageki Shoujo, and I do want to state as well, I have volume 1 here, but I do have the prequel. Somebody did tell me, or at least 2 different people told me, like, hey, it's a situation similar to QQ Sweeper and Queen's Quality. You can't start Queen's Quality without reading QQ Sweeper. And I was like, okay. I'm a little bit nervous to start the prequel because of some things I've heard. I heard some trigger warnings, and one of those is like one I try to utmost avoid at any cost in fiction. So I'm hoping that I will be okay when I read it and it's not as extreme or at least as triggering for me. And I do have some of those volumes here. Kageki Shoujo, I had to cover out the thing that I've wanted to try this series for a long time, and I think of the commenter who has said, I hope that this does win because it's very different than what I usually recommend on this channel. And I think that's true, and I hope that they are happy about this. Again, I'm very curious. I've been curious for a long time, so I'm excited to dive into it. And the Merit in the Egyptian God, that like, I'm happy for the fans who voted for this series because I don't think that I would have come and picked it up because sometimes Egyptian mythology or lore is a hit or miss for me, so I really was unsure. And I will say I will not do a first impression just dedicated to this manga. I will do my typical 3-in-1, I guess you could say a 3-in-1 first impression video. So there will be 2 other titles that were not part of this event, but I'm really excited for. Right now, I know for certain it's going to be Mars, the 30th Anniversary Edition, Volume 1. I have done a video review on the full series, but it's been so many years, I feel like I could go in because I don't remember anything, really. It's really, really foggy. So I feel like I'll be fine. Also, I just want to feature that because it's such a beautiful edition. And the other one is, I can't remember, I just got in the mail yesterday. It's the Super Love mode, something with 99 times. How did I unlock this mode kind of thing. I will leave the cover here. I'm very excited for that one as well. So I'll be doing a 3-in-1 review for that. And then if I really enjoy this one, I will be getting volume 2. I realize it is a 2-volume series, and I'm going to feature my favorite volume that I have of this so far, and that's Colette Decides to Die. I'm not surprised that this was number 1 because there's just so much love for this series. In fact, I was flipping through it, I think when I was in the car waiting for the stoplight to change. Don't worry, I put the book down and drove, okay, was not reading and driving. But while I was just sitting and waiting so that stoplight takes forever, I was flipping through it and there was some really, really cute pages. I am mentally preparing myself that I'll probably want to buy the other volumes I do not have. That was not part of my budget. In years past, I don't have it up here, but I bought Queen's Quality, Kakario, Bed and Breakfast for Spirits, and I feel like there's one other series that I also bought, so I'm not surprised. And I genuinely hope that people are excited for the 3 series I will be reading. And I'm so sorry if you're like, oh, I was hoping a different series, aka Dinkin Daisy. Again, I have the series. Some friends were very generous and gifted me the first half, and I found through a really shocking spur of the moment, went out of town to a bookstore that sells used manga and found the second half. I only need 2 more volumes. costumes, and so that was really cool. So it's coming at some point, sometime. I cannot promise when, but I'm very excited to dive into these. I do not know which manga I will be reading first. It depends on my mood. It just depends on my mood. And so those are the 3 series and the results of my reading review Shoujo Spree. Please stay tuned for next month. Every Friday, except for the first Friday, which will have my reading wrap-up video, I will be reviewing each series. I really am looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. Let me know what you thought of the votes. Were you surprised by anything? Are you excited for what I'm going to be reading? Let me know down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!